Batgirl number 16, written by Gail Simone, art by Daniel Sampier and Ed Benes. So, this is the end of Batgirl's Death of the Family tie-ins, and last time we had Joker forcing her to go to a church to get married to him in order to save her mother. Okay, so this issue picks up with a flashback to Barbara. She's 18. She is newly in the wheelchair, and she is talking to a psychiatrist who's basically like, "Why don't we talk about your feelings about the wheelchair?" And she's like, "Yeah, I kind of feel like my whole life was ruined. I kind of feel like I'm 18 and everything's just downhill from here." And also how she has dreams and nightmares, but they're all the same, and it's her killing the Joker with her bare hands. And she's like, sometimes I feel guilty about it. Other times I'm sad that it's just a dream. And the psychiatrist is writing down, like, she's kind of depressed and she's kind of upset about the like fatalism and whatnot. And Barbara's like, I can read your notes based off of how you're moving your pen. Maybe you should type instead. So then we cut back to now, and they're at the church. They're surrounded by a bunch of Joker goons, and Joker's like, "All right, let's get this on the road. Let's do this." And immediately the priest is like, "I don't think I can do this." And Batgirl's like, "It's fine. Just do it. We'll settle this all later." And Batgirl asks the Joker specifically, "Why me? Why am I the one that has to go through this?" And Joker points out that he has a little book, the one that we saw him talking about last issue, of all of his notes of like, the perfect plans and stuff like that. But he never really quite answers the question of why it had to be Batgirl. So either way, he just goes on more about like, "Yep, you bat brats are taking down Batman's abilities, so I'm gonna take you off the table." And then Batgirl's like, "You do understand that nobody, probably not even you, believes in this sham of a marriage. Like, I am going to escape." And Joker points out, "You're probably right. So I'm going to follow another page out of my book here." And he goes over to one of his goons who opens up a box, and he takes out a chainsaw. And he's like, "I'm going to chop off your arms and legs and put you in a basement so you can't possibly ever leave me. Doesn't that sound fun?" And the priest tries to step in like, okay, that's not okay in terms of marriage. And Batgirl's like, "Nope, it's okay, Father. I got this." And she does some calculations in her head of probabilities that she'll get shot or she'll get killed or whatever. She's like, either way, gotta take them. So she turns around and starts attacking the goons with some batarangs. But before she can even attack like two of them, James Gordon Jr. shows up in the door. And he's like, "Hey, sorry to interrupt. I just have a message for the bride." And Joker's like, "Who are you and why shouldn't I kill you right now?" And he walks out of the shadows with 2 live grenades in his hands. And he's like, "Just want to say my piece. Batgirl, Mrs. Gordon is out alive. I got her out safely. Continue." And so Batgirl then immediately starts jumping on the Joker, all the goons, even more recklessly than before. And she is doing some serious damage to them. Like, she is taking out all of her frustrations on the Joker, on his goons. So at one point, one guy is like pleading for mercy, and she's like, "Mercy? Nah, I think we're fresh out." And she just beats the crap out of him anyway. So apparently Elysia is standing outside, and she sees the whole thing going on, and she's like, "Dear Lord, what did I get myself into here?" And finally, I guess I should say, James Gordon Jr. steps up to the Joker in the midst of her beating up the goons and is just like, "Hey, Joker, got a deal for you. One-time opportunity. Listen up." But we don't get to see the deal. And finally it gets down to Batgirl and the Joker. They're fighting each other. He still has the chainsaw, and they're just like pushing it back and forth at each other until finally Junior steps in and he knocks out Batgirl. And he's like, "Sorry, I had to make a trade. It was either you or my mother, and I can't let this freak have my mother. So he's allowed to have you, Batgirl." And Joker's like, "Oh, you are far more interesting. Maybe I should have had or kidnapped you instead." But then he points out, "All right, you're going to let the woman in the skating rink go and I walk away, or I kill Batgirl here and now and you won't get to do whatever your plans are." And Joker's like, "Oh yeah, you're very interesting. But here's the question. What if I kill her and you and take Batgirl anyway?" And At that point, Joker or Junior pulls out another grenade, and he's like, another gag grenade, and he's like, nope, this one's real. And he pulls the pin and tosses it at Joker, takes cover, and huge explosion, seemingly right in the Joker's face. But as soon as you turn the page, he's fine. He is unblindfolding Barbara Gordon, and he has a bloody serving tray in front of him, and he's like, oh, you won't believe what I've got under here. And Batgirl's narration is just, I'm sorry, Mom, I rolled the dice and I lost. So, to be continued in Batman 17, which is the finale of the entirety of the arc. I like it. I think the marriage thing just seems so unjustified, I think. It's they went through this whole thing of Joker in every single book, including this one, saying how the Batman family just needs to all go, and that's his entire plan, is getting rid of them. And this way he's doing it via, it just seems more like when they sat down to write it, for every other member of the family, they're like, yeah, they can just be killed. But then in Batgirls, they're like, well, hold on, there's some prior history. What if we get even creepier? And they decided to land on marriage for that. But it just feels so, why would the Joker do that? And to the point where Batgirl even asked, and it wasn't really given an explanation outside of he thought it'd be funny. And to be fair, that's pretty much all the Joker ever does anything for. But it just feels like there wasn't that extra little push to say why this was actually the reason why. So while I do like the issue enough in terms of the things it does, how it looks, I like Junior jumping into the middle of this, getting involved, sets up some good plots moving forward of, he double-crossed Batgirl. Oh, and it turns out that he didn't actually save his mother, by the way. That was just a bluff on his end. So, whoops. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give this one... It's a 6.5. It's very close to a 7, but it's a 6.5. Just in that we all knew this is how it was going to end up. We all knew that, the same way as all the other tie-ins, Batgirl is going to not succeed, and it's going to have to be wrapped up in Batman. Like, it's the exact same across the board. So I'm not upset with it, but the fact that they made it a little bit different in setting it up made me hope that there was something more behind it, and there just wasn't.